Right, welcome. We're going to have a bit of a chat about faith, a journey of faith. I've got Wade here. How you going?
Very good. Good view.
Good. And just introduce yourself. Where are you at? What are you doing at the moment?
Yep. Alright, my name's Wade. I am a father of one, expecting our second, husband to one, beautiful wife, Emma, and I am a carpenter. We're living in Port Hughes, and yeah, that's where we're at.
Awesome. Where did your kind of faith begin?
My faith began at a young age. My parents, I've been in church my whole life, so for better or for worse, my parents introduced me to the Lord when I was 6, and then they were, I think when I was about 7, they head overseas, and we've done missions overseas and whatnot, and I kind of discovered more and more about God as we travelled, and Mum and Dad did mission stuff, and I tagged along.
Yeah.
So it began pretty early on.
So what kind of countries did you grow up in?
Majority of my time was in Southeast Asia. Thailand was a big chunk of it. A little bit of China and a little bit of in and out of Burma.
Yeah.
Actually, a little bit. But majority was Thailand.
Yeah.
North Thailand, Chiang Mai.
You're a big guy.
Yeah.
You stand out growing up?
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Thai school. I did a year in Thai school, and I was in like year 6. And I was the same height as most of the 10th, 11th graders, so they didn't like that too much. I got picked on a fair bit.
Yeah.
Big, tall, white boy. But,
Yeah.
No, it was good fun.
Yeah. And so you grew up in church and doing missions work with your family. When did your faith become really your own faith, not just what you following from family or whatever the family was doing?
I think from day one, I think my faith was my own faith. I think I'm 100% sure that as a kid I felt God's love.
Yeah.
And I was drawn to God. I'd say that my faith was challenged the most when I returned back to Australia.
Which was when?
When I was 14 and a half, 15 years old.
Yeah.
15 years old. And that's when it was really challenged. So that's where, for me, a little bit older, I started to question my faith.
Yeah.
The relationship with God was there, very well established. And from my heart, I had a relationship with God, but my head didn't quite understand everything. So that was really challenged when I started working in construction at a younger age. And that type of environment.
It's a bit pretty intense environment.
Pretty challenging environment, yeah. Being a 15-year-old Christian boy on a construction site with, some sites had 30, 40 men on them, and I was the only Christian at the time, and I was a very strong, ignorant Christian in the sense that I'd been overseas, mission field style, and I'd come back to Australia, which is a very different culture. And that brought its own challenges as well as really challenged me to mentally think through my faith.
So in that really intense environment, and I've worked on a few sites as a labourer in my late teens as well, and it's a different environment. How did you stay strong in that faith in that environment? Because it's not the most probably welcoming, or they don't hate on you, but they're not going to change anything for you.
No, definitely not. I've had all sorts. Some blokes are just champions. They're great. They respect your faith. Others just have the most fun they've ever had, tearing you to shreds about.
So how'd you keep it through that?
Not very well, to be honest, mate. Like definitely, I had all sorts of issues came out. Like sometimes as a younger kid, I'd try and hide it.
Yeah.
I'd try and avoid it and not talk about it and try and get along and just. And after a while, it got to a point where people wanted me to continue along with them and what they were doing, and I didn't agree with that, so I had to pull back and, say, well, actually, no, I don't do that kind of stuff, and they ask why, and then they find out, and then, here we go, big old drama, and, it was really rough, actually, trying to manage my way through it until, I'd say I probably didn't do it very well. I could have done a lot better.
Well, you're still here.
Still here. The thing was, like, within myself personally, I was unshakable.
Yeah.
I would go home and I knew God. God knew me. But actually being able to relay that message to the guys on the site was
where faith goes beyond you.
Where it goes beyond me, it was quite difficult for me to do that.
I think it's a challenge for a lot of Christians.
Yeah, definitely.
Is okay. This faith is it's for us personally. Bible's pretty clear about taking the good news and shining light. That often is the tricky. Yeah.
And I think actually probably looking back on it, one of the biggest things was, despite the fact that I wasn't always the best at it, I stuck to my guns in a sense. I wasn't perfect. I'm not a perfect person at all, but sticking to that was the biggest testimony. I think
that's what people respect the most.
Yeah,
is that consistency.
Yeah.
So you worked a bit in construction. You ended up overseas a bit.
Yes.
Can you fill us in a bit on what happened there and some of the places you ended up?
Yeah, like I said, we grew up overseas, travelling around Asia. I ended up getting out of construction in my early 20s and getting into the security industry. I worked within Australia and then took that overseas doing executive protection overseas, which was took me all over the world travelling with clients and working abroad. Throughout the whole time, just following God. Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? And we did a lot of ministry as well. So it's kind of, both my wife and I are very adventurous. We love travelling. We love going overseas. So getting paid to travel as well as, doing all sorts of ministry stuff. I mean, we hit.
Yeah. So what's some of the aid and ministry stuff you did throughout that?
Yeah. So we did. Working with a little church in Turkey. Actually, we worked and just did. Church work stuff, life groups, and a little bit of talking and stuff like that. And then we did Syrian aid, refugee aid when they were exiting Syria. In the Philippines, we went to the Philippines. We're doing like disaster response, natural disaster response teams, and food and distributions and all that kind of stuff.
So they're all pretty intense environments.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And how did that mould? I don't know if mould's the right word. Maybe even strengthen faith, or what impact did that have on your outlook of that faith in you and through you?
Yeah, I really feel like me as a person, I'm very attracted to intense environments, and I think that's the way God made me. And I really enjoy intense environments, and to be honest, I feel very peaceful in those environments. So I was really just following the peace that God, the way God led me, and following the peace. And to be honest, when I'm in those environments, it's very much, right, God, what's the next step? What do I do here? What do I do there? Who do I talk to? It's very kind of constantly talking to God kind of chat. Like if we're refugees, for example, when we're in Turkey, we're coming out of Syria, and we just go and deliver clothes and food. And then it's like, all right, Lord, what am I doing? Who do I talk to? Go and talk to someone. Or sometimes don't talk and just just show love. So it's very similar to here, in the sense that your day-to-day life is a conversation, I think. Wake up
so what is you've been through these missionary, construction, security, aid, maybe back in York's doing a bit of building different things, and a dad.
Yeah.
And what does your faith look like in the day today?
Yes, like same thing. Wake up in the morning. Sometimes I read my Bible, sometimes I don't. I put on the audio Bible, or
thank God for the audio Bible.
Thank God for audio Bible. 20-minute drive to work and put on the audio Bible. That's the best thing. I love actually hearing the word. I love hearing it read out. I think I get a lot more out of it hearing it than reading it. But and just speak to God, praying in tongues. Just same thing. Just being led day to day. Same thing. God, who do I talk to? What do I do? Do I keep to myself? Do I show love? Do I bite my tongue when I really want to say something else? Or Lord, give me the words to say. Show me what to do. Same thing. Just all day long. Just having a chat to God, and just doing. When He says do it, that's the most important thing. I think. When He says go and shake that guy's hand, or go and talk to someone, it's just a matter of working that out and actually going and doing it, and just Well,
thanks, Wade.
No worries.
And You've been a blessing in our lives and our church and community. And it's awesome to hear your story. I'm sure there's heaps more to come. And thanks for chatting.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See ya.